Good day, YouTube. Today is September 4th, 2017. It is Labor Day. Happy Labor Day to everybody. And of course, on Labor Day, I don't have to work a real job, so get to hang out in the shop and take care of one of the millions of projects that are laying around here undone. And one of which was my Gilson garden tractor. Picked up some tires and wheels for it a couple years ago. I just put them on, and one of them won't seat the bead. And when I got it off the tractor and pulled the tire off, and this is what I am left with after a substantial amount of wire brushing with that nasty thing. And to give you a rough idea, that's just a little bit of the stuff that came off of it that I haven't cleaned up yet. Now, what to do with the wheel? Obviously, it was a solid piece of rust, and it's going to continue to rust. But a few months ago, I discovered this Rust Sargent rust converting primer. And I not only picked up a gallon of it, it comes in this like a Clorox bottle. But with the step van project looming and being a rust bucket as it is, because of a number of things, and I'm too cheap to pay for shipping, I must get value for my dollars. I bought 4 gallons of it. I mean, everything I do is rusty, so I'll use it eventually. And the substance looks and smells similar to like a watered down Elmer's glue. And I've done part of this wheel, so I'm trying to avoid showing too much of what has already been done. But I want to show you how it applies and then what it does. And I'm beyond impressed with it. I can tell you that right up front. So I'll show you this, and at the end I'll show you where to get it. There's a Jeep parts place in Oregon here where I'm at. It's called VintageJeeps.com. Focus camera, VintageJeeps.com. They're in Central Point. And they have this, they've developed it and have this stuff made, and that's where you get it. And I'm here to tell you, it works good. Let's set up in the tri-stand here. Come on, fit. I had that working. So, well, I'm just going to show you how easy this stuff applies. And I'm just using a dollar store 3 for $1 paintbrush and a red Solo cup. I feel you. And it doesn't take much, man. This stuff is like consistency of a melted milkshake, and it smells like Elmer's glue. So it's just paint on, man. It's no more than just a paint on rust converter. And I mean, it takes the rust and turns it black and leaves you a primered surface suitable for painting. And they really only recommend that you take a rusty surface and pressure wash it to get the loose stuff off, and it will do the rest. Now, this wheel was horrible. Okay, this is the worst wheel I've ever seen. I thought for a moment I should just replace the wheel, not even fiddle with it. But, again, cheap as I am, I said, no, let's try this rust converter that I had bought for the step van, and we're not quite ready on that yet. Although it's getting close, by the way, really close. And this is it. This is I don't know, 20% of the wheel, 25% of the wheel, something like that. We're just applying it with a brush and make sure it gets into every little divot. That's all there is to it. I don't even think what I'm doing now is necessary, but it didn't take much. I mean, it took darn little. I have a feeling I can do the whole step van for 1 gallon. If anybody needs an extra gallon, I'm going to have spares. No, I'm going to keep them. I've got way too many projects that require rust conversion. But rust conversion, the whole idea of putting a chemical on rust and turning it back into steel or something that is not rust. Okay, I admit that I haven't quite let this other stuff dry completely. Let's zoom you back out into more normal. Turn you around so we get the daylight. Here, hang on. 2 hands. And that's what it did. And look at the finish. Look at the finish. I don't believe I have to do anything with it. I mean, I probably will put some paint on it just for fun, because I really want to see what happens with paint on it. But it has turned the rust completely black. And it started doing that in a minute or so. And in fact, let's look at what we just did together. See if I can do it without getting it on me. You can see it's already turned it black. It is converting the rust back into steel, suitable for painting. And this is the coolest thing ever. So I'm pretty excited about this drying here pretty soon. I'm going to throw some paint on it and be able to put my tire back on. It took my Harbor Freight bead breaker to get that sucker off. It was so rusted on, yet it wouldn't seal on the bead. It was just leaking like crazy. I didn't know the history behind it. I bought these wheels and tires. The tires are like brand new. They still had the nubbies on the face here and there, so they've had almost no use. But they've been sitting around a little bit, evidently. And they had a bunch of water in them when they mounted them up. What's that tell you? Dry these things off before you put tires on them, because it just sat in here and rusted. Once you get water in there, there's no getting it out. So this is my initial review on this Rust Sergeant. I'm telling you, when I get into the step van, I'll give you a very good overview of this on the whole body, because I'm going to do the whole body of the step van in this. So because I'm not familiar with putting links and so forth on, let's show you again this Rust Sergeant rust converting primer and how to find it. It is, there we go. Go to vintagejeeps.com. They're in Central Point, Oregon. You can order this online. They shipped it out very quickly. And I think you had to spend a couple $100 to get free shipping. And I maybe spent a little more than that. You can buy this in quarts, pints, maybe quarts, maybe. It's been a little while. Sorry, it's been a couple months since I bought this stuff. But I think those small quantities aren't really what I was hunting for. So I opted for the gallons and then bought enough to get me over the free shipping hump. If I recall, this is roughly $40, $45 or something a gallon, in that neighborhood. Sorry, I should have researched that a little bit before I started doing the video. But if you've looked at these before, other rust converter primers are in the $80, $90, $100 and up range. This stuff works fabulous. We just did it together. You can see how fast it's drying. This is like a half hour or so away from painting it, and I'm very, very happy with it. So I'll be able to put that back on my tractor and get that done today. That's a nice thing about projects, when you don't have to prime them and wait a day and then paint it and wait a day and then put it back together. I'll be able to get all this done on Labor Day, because I got to go back to work tomorrow. Thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing. And there's my initial review of Rust Sergeant. A big thumbs up for this product. Way to go, guys. And just FYI, the step van project is left the propane shop, where it's got now a clean bill of health propane wise, to the tune of it was about $800 to get the propane tank removed, sandblasted, powder coated, replaced the gauge, all the fittings, and we added a takeoff in case I ever want to convert my generator to propane, I can draw it out of the same tank or replace the generator that I put in my step van with a propane RV generator. So that's all ready to hook up. We just did that while the tank was empty, and that's good to go. And it is now at the brake and front end shop. So the step van hung out probably with 2 different owners for 20, 30 years, undriven, unloved, no brakes, etc. So I just knew it was going to take me so much time to get to it, get it done, and everything else would have to wait. So I opted to have that work done, took it into our local brake and alignment shop. They've been in business more than 100 years, and he called me on Friday, was its appointment, called me Friday afternoon and said, well, the brake shoes, the brake drums, all the tie rod ends, drag link, all that stuff, all good. All I needed were wheel cylinders, master cylinder, and kingpins. And I was kind of figuring on the worst, hoping for the best, but I didn't even hope that good. This thing's not going to cost me near what I had figured, and it should probably be done tomorrow. And I, by gosh, going to drive it home. So that's the goal. Step van's coming back, and we're going to get going on that thing again. So pretty excited about that. And there we are watching paint dry. I'm out of here, guys. Thanks again. We'll see you on the next one.